Hello, this is Ahmad Shibli. This is for my Business Society and Government class regarding the movie Miss Sloane. And so we'll begin the questions. So in question number one, it says, in your own words, describe lobbying, explain the various lobbying methods. In your opinion, what type of lobbyist was Miss Sloane? Support your answer. What and who was she lobbying for? So lobbying is basically an attempt to basically influence politics and politicians and legislations and government through advocacy, through finance, through different ways of lobbying. So lobbying has many ways. One way is like I remember reading, it was like grassroots lobbying. It's like influencing like the public and voting for certain laws and stuff like that, or the media, getting the media involved and having the media push a certain agenda in order to get a certain thing done. So what type of lobbyist was Miss Sloane? So she was a lobbyist. She was for like gun control. She was like a gun control person. She wanted to, she was hired as to be a lobbyist for like gun control. And like, qualities of Miss Sloane is that she's like very smart, very sharp. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to fight for what she believes is right. She's very smart and she thinks ahead. Like they said a couple of times, like she thinks ahead of her opponent. She calculates moves ahead and she knows how to reply to certain things. Who was she lobbying for? She was lobbying for gun control. I forgot the company. Towards the end of the movie, Miss Sloane establishes her own PAC. What is a PAC? What was the PAC she established? So a PAC is a political action committee. And what is a PAC? Well, what is a PAC? Basically, it's like a lobbying thing, What was the PAC she established? It was for gun control, gun control advocacy, if I remember correctly. Political, gun control advocacy, establishes your own PAC, So that's, gun control advocacy, the film highlights a lot of important points. Question number 3, using OpenSecrets.com, search and identify what industry spends the most on lobbying. Tell me what industry and how much did they spend in 2023. Tell me why do you think they spent that much. So I was looking at the website, Open Secrets, and I looked at two different links. So one of them, I looked at top spenders. Top spenders in 2023 was the U.S. Chamber of Commerce, a lobbying client, and they spent in 2023 $69,580,000. That was what that was like the top spender. But then I also looked up top lobbying firms, and I found that in the 2023, the top lobbying firm was Brownstein Hyatt. They said that if you look at the where I think most of the money went to, I think it was like the pharmaceutical industry, health, pharmaceutical industry. Unknown business was the second most that they spent on. But also, I was looking at industries, industries in 2023. And I found that the pharmaceutical industry received the most money in 2023. They received $383,956,639, which is a lot of money. Pharmaceutical industry, which is a lot of money. Top agencies in 2023 was Department of Health and Human Services. Okay, so basically, pharmaceutical companies, they receive the most money. You've got top lobbying firms, and they spent most of their money, on the pharmaceutical industry, and hundreds of millions of dollars basically spent. And so the question continues, who is, tell me, why do you think they spent so much? Well, they spent so much because there's a lot that goes behind the scenes, with politics and corruption, and it's not necessarily just corruption. It's not necessarily corruption that they've spent hundreds of millions of dollars on certain industries, but I guess it really depends on the situation, right? So question 4, using the website opensecrets.org, choose a member of Congress, House, or Senate, and examine their campaign contributions. So I was looking in the website opensecrets.com, and I clicked on Mike Johnson, a representative. He's, I think, the Speaker of the House, 118th Congress. Speaker Mike Johnson. And just briefly, I looked at their top contributor. His top contributor was the American Israel Public Affair. There's their top contributor. Tell me who you choose, and Mike John. And then tell me what industry or group contributes to them the most, and why do you think that is? So you got the American Israel contribution. Personally, why do I think that there is? I think that there is the top 1% that have money, and they fund certain politicians, to pass certain legislations, whether it's at the American Israel committee, or public relations, or whatever, APAC, they contributed to that Congress member the most. And why? Well, I don't know, necessarily why that is, but I know that from my previous course that I've taken in the university, that Israel could be considered a rogue state, and so they help influence American politics, because in turn it impacts them as a country who is at war in the Middle East region, and it shows really that a lot, it shows that that some of these politicians are taking money and they're fighting causes that they might not know much about. For example, like, how much do you think Mike Johnson knows about the Palestinian-Israeli issue, or the genocide, or what's going on in that region right now? He probably doesn't know much, and so he's getting funding from the APAC, and he's doing what he's told. A lot of these guys, they're what we call industry plants. It's it's a rigged system. You've got these industry plants that are put in certain places and funded. And only God knows at the end of the day the real truth. And then the final question is, tell us your thoughts on the movie and your overall thoughts on lobbying, money, and politics. I thought the movie was a great movie. It was money in politics. It shows that the more money that you have, the more influence that you could possibly have on politics and legislations and rules and stuff like that. And it's a good movie. Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day.